friend and I went to this place in Toronto called Hopeless Romantic, and they had this blind date with a book. And so it basically tells you the premise of the book, but you don't judge it by its cover. And so the book that I ended up getting is The Christmas Cookie Wars by Eliza Evans. I've not heard of this book before. I think it actually came out this year. Let's see. Yes, and it's published by Penguin Random House, so that's always a good sign. And it looks really cute and cozy. It has a spice level, it's said on the little blind book then, of 1 to 2. A little bit not spicy really for me. I prefer a little bit higher than that, but it's all right. This seems cute, this seems cozy, and I think it looks very Christmassy. Oh, I forgot to put on my hat for this. All right. So from my understanding, The Christmas Cookie Wars follows along a mom of a young boy who is no longer believing in the magic of Christmas. His dad passed away, or I don't know when their father passed away, but I assume it must have happened a while ago if this is supposed to be like a romance, because then that'd be kind of awkward if they find love like immediately after the dad dies. But yeah, so she is basically trying to make sure her kids still care about Christmas, are still happy and feel the magic. And then there's like this cookie contest at her son's school that they're gonna like cancel, and she's like, no, we can't lose the Christmas magic here. And so she and like, I think one of the teachers ends up like becoming competitors for each other somehow. And he's like supposedly like really hot and all of this stuff. And it turns into this like big town-wide bake-off versus her and the hot teacher. So honestly, that premise sounds really good to me. So yeah, that's pretty much what I understand about the book. I don't have as much in-depth knowledge as I feel like I usually would when it comes to books, just because this is a surprise book and I love surprise books. So this is a blind date with a book. So without further ado, let's crack this book right open. So I'm a little bit more than 100 pages, as well as pretty much halfway through the Cookie Wars, the Christmas Cookie Wars, and here are my thoughts so far. This is such a charming little book that I'm just like, I'm having a good time. It's like a Hallmark movie, but a book. And it's definitely very, very tame. I know that when I opened it in like the blind date with a book, it was saying spice rating 1 to 2. So far, there hasn't been any of that, not even like a kiss scene yet, but I actually really like that because it feels like we're getting a lot of good buildup of them kind of getting to know each other a little bit better. And like the situation is like a little bit awkward because they're both on this like cookie committee, and he's the principal and she's the mom of students. So where I'm at right now is basically Melody is our main character, and she has 2 sons, Finn and Tate, and they are twins. And so about 6 years ago, her husband Thomas passed away. So she's pretty much been raising these kids for a very long time on her own, but she has a really good connection with her family. So she has like her parents and her sister and like her parents' friends and stuff, and like basically like a whole community vibe that has helped her raise these 2 boys. So it's very nice, but they tend to be behind a lot, like late for the school. So she's had multiple meetings with the principal, who is Principal Jonathan Braxton, and he's our love interest for the book. But she doesn't like him actually at first. She's like, oh, this guy's like, he's so kind of like prim and proper, and probably thinks that she's like this big hot mess kind of thing. And so she kind of judges him based on that, and she doesn't really know how he feels about her or anything like that. So it's interesting to see kind of the interactions, because she definitely, because it's from her point of view, right? Like we definitely can see that she thinks that everything that she does, he's kind of like criticizing, but I don't think that's the case. I think that she's just misunderstanding him. And thankfully it's not in the annoying kind of misunderstanding way. Like they're not, like they don't hate each other or anything, but she's like, this guy, like, can he just like stop being so like particular all the time? And so the story is basically following along her, and what's happening is that in this town of like Cookieville, I know, cookies are a very big theme. I ate so many cookies reading this book, just to say. And basically we're following her, and she ends up taken charge of the cookie committee, because what happened is that this woman who usually does it, Charlene, who's kind of like, think your stereotypical like soccer mom kind of person, and people tell her that they don't like her leadership style, so she basically like cancels everything. But the thing is that because Melody's two boys are getting a little bit older, not really believing as much in Santa and all of that, she doesn't want to lose the traditions and stuff that they celebrated as a family with their dad as well before he passed away, that she's like really trying to hold on to it, but she also doesn't want to like stifle the growth of her own children as they become a little bit more independent and make decisions for themselves. So I think that's a really cool kind of like perspective that I wasn't really expecting. But the reason that she wants to run the cookie committee is because her kids really liked Cookie Days, which is like one of the kind of celebrations that they have in the town. So she's like, okay, if I run the committee, then not only will it save like the STEM classes that all of this cookie committee stuff like raises money towards, like that her kids are part of, but maybe her kids will also just hold on to that Christmas magic. And so because she's now in charge of this, she's working very closely with the principal and a bunch of other people. And there's also this like cookie competition that the principal is very well known for his like perfect, amazing cookies that everybody loves. His grandma taught him how to cook. He's a really great cookie baker. And so she and her two sons end up kind of like creating a bet, and they're like, we're gonna beat you. And he's like, you can try. And so events ensue, and it's really fun. There was this scene I really liked where he kind of comes over by like to her house to like give her like a box of cookies and stuff, and she and her boys had just had like a flour fight, and it was really cute. And he comes in and he's like, he's throwing flour and he's helping them bake the cookies and stuff. I'm like, oh, so wholesome and so cute. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this book goes. There's still a lot of days up until like the Cookie Days, which is kind of like the big event that the book is focused on. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see like how their relationship is going to progress, because they definitely know now that they like each other, but they haven't really done anything about it yet. And there was this one scene that made me cringe so hard because I feel it so deep in my soul, that she accidentally sent him a text message with the eggplant emoji. And she was like, turns her phone on airplane mode and just throws it. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'm never using my phone again. Everybody's gonna have to like contact me by coming to my house or writing me like physical letters. She's like, I'm never doing that again. And I thought it was really relatable. So I really like the character in this book. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to read The Christmas Cookie Wars, and I will update you when I finish this book. So I will see you then with my final thoughts. So I just finished The Christmas Cookie Wars, and I liked this book way more than I expected to, even though it was not spicy at all. This book felt a lot more real than I guess I was expecting. I really, really loved just the whole watching her kids grow up and like having to let pieces of them go and like memories go and create new traditions and not feel like she has to hold on to the past so tightly. I thought that was a really great part of the book, and I love the relationship with like her sister and her like her parents and stuff. It was so good, and it was fun, it was realistic, it was goofy, and it was a good time. I gotta say, I was actually really surprised about what we learned about Charlene towards the end of the book, because I just assumed that she would like, I don't know, I just kind of assumed about her character. And the thing is that everybody assumed about her character. So I thought that that was really good, and I liked the ending. It was just so silly. I liked the little moments that she and Jonathan had. I definitely think it would have been a lot better though if we got to see a little bit of those moments a little bit more. Like then when they went to the Enchanted Forest, we got to see a little bit, but then it's like, how did the rest of that date go? Like, I want to know. But then there's also scenes that you do get to see all of, like when he came over and he helped with the cookies, or when she was helping him find some clothing for his daughter, or when his daughter came and they had a bit of like a fashion show kind of thing, getting him some new outfits. Like there were definitely a lot of really cute moments. And now that I'm done the book, I can definitely assume that this was like a YA book, and I think that makes sense why some of the scenes just, we didn't see some of the scenes, and why the spiciness was so tame. The most you get is hand-holding and a couple of kisses, but honestly, it was really cute and it was charming. So yeah, I definitely had a good time reading this book. I'm happy that the blind date with a book went well, and I read something that I enjoyed and an author I've never read from before, so I'll definitely be reading like her other work. However, we're pretty close to the end of the holidays at this point, so I'll probably have to wait until next Christmas to read another one of her books. But yeah, very beautiful cover, very fun story, and it was really cool to just get the perspective of just like an everyday person, this mom, and her life, just a little bit of her life, and it felt very realistic. I thought that was really good. So today we are going to be awarding the Christmas Cookie Wars a total of 4 stars. Enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, and yeah, definitely very tame, very cute, very charming. If you like Hallmark movies, if you like the warm and fuzzy, and maybe you're not really a fan of spice but you like romance, definitely check this book out. So the next book that I'm going to be reading is The Serpent and the Winds of Night by Carissa Broadbent, and I have seen many things about this book. However, I don't actually know anything about this book that much. I just know that people really like it, and it's fantasy and it's got vampires, and that's all I need to know. So this is going to be the next book that I am going to be reading, so I'm very excited about it. So if you're interested in watching me read this book or any other book that happens to be on my never-ending TBR, definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification. That way you get notified anytime a new video comes out. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!